Broncos country, what is going on? I know it's been a few days, but I am here with my good friend Strez from Broncos Hub. We're going to be breaking down who's the perfect fit for running back with the Denver Broncos in this NFL draft. But before I get started, hey, y'all go subscribe to Strez in the comments. You'll also see down there a link to what's in the top right of this corner. Guru Film Room has endorsed me. He has brought me on as one of his collaborators. The largest coaches film database that I've ever come across, including player cut-ups, in which I'm also working on. So if you guys are an NFL draft junkie and don't want to take the time to sift through all that game film, me and some of my friends will cut it up for you on Guru Film Room. So with that being said, Stress, thank you so much for your time. And how about this, man? How about Ohio State? Congratulations. Ryan Day can't beat Michigan, but he can win a national
He
title. How
has
about
already
that?
beaten Michigan once in his career, and then they ducked us in 2020. Come on. I'm like looking for my
Nonetheless.
hat. It's like out of reach over here. I can't grab it.
Oh man, yeah, see. Yeah, hopefully I can put this on again soon. But man, we're here to talk running backs, and for those who don't know, viewers coming in here, Stress has some great insight on the running back position because you were one, correct?
I were one, yeah, for
Or
about
you was one? Were one?
no, you said it right. I intentionally said it incorrectly because I'm a dum dum like that. But yeah, I played running back all the way from 5th grade through my college career. And so it's a position that's very near and dear to my heart. I always have my little Terrell Davis beanie baby sitting on my
I
desk
love
here.
it.
Yeah, the boy. Yeah, he and Terrell Davis was, I mean, the entire reason why I wanted to play running back. He's the guy that got me to fall in love with the sport of football, and I wanted to play running back, and I wanted to be just like Terrell, and I wore elbow pads and had the pacifier mouthpiece and everything, and it was just it was really cool to be able to do that and stuff. So yeah, running back is like the position that I will always pay attention to, and I'm sure everyone watching and listening was probably almost as close to the running back frustrations that I was this season, but I might be the most frustrated person in Broncos country about the running back room altogether.
And I'll say this before we get into some of the guys that we're going to break down. I used to just believe that running backs were kind of a dime a dozen. I mean, you saw that with Mike Shanahan, man. But this year completely changed my opinion on that sort of outlook at the position with our win rate, with how well our offensive line was being, graded for their blocking.
Yep.
Um, dude's like similar to Russell Wilson taking sacks and making this offensive line look worse. I think the running backs did the same thing with this offensive line this year.
I completely agree. I think there were so many cutbacks. I mean, I feel like we ran like duo and counter often, and there was just there was no ability, it felt like, for these guys to see the cutback lanes really until like Jaleel started taking a bulk of the carries in like the last 3 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That was when we finally started seeing better vision from the running backs. And I'm just like, I was so frustrated. It was awful. It was awful.
And I agree with Kodiak, man. I think you might have given us better production on the ground.
Let's
So
go.
we'll see if we get any tryouts, but hopefully we
I,
can draft
yeah,
one of these guys.
I just pulled my hamstring thinking about running a 40-yard dash. So
Right. But Denver Trav is getting in here again,
that's
guys.
the homie,
Kodiak
dude. What's
Clinton.
up, Denver Trav?
Yeah, he's saying Broncos should draft Judkins and Neal. Well, let's go ahead and just like freaking get into it, shall we? So, guys, we got like 6 different running backs, I think, that we're going to run through, or we'll just kind of see how this goes. But we're going to start with the Ohio State guys. So, I wanted to lead, though, with Travion Henderson because, Strez, with my very little knowledge on the running back position, in like draft terms until like maybe a month ago. I've always kind of thought, like, I know everybody loves Quinshot and Judkins because of the video game stuff and the
I
spin
don't.
move,
Yeah,
but
I
I
never
feel
really
like
understood that.
Travion was the more dynamic guy.
Yeah,
Am I right or wrong there? What's your read on Travion Henderson for the
yeah,
Broncos?
yeah. First off, I have to ask, why are we not starting with Ashton Genty? Because didn't Mel Kiper just say that he falls to us at 20?
Dude, we're not leading with
Yeah,
Genty because
there's no
that
chance.
would be insane.
If he falls to 20 and we don't take him, I'm driving to Denver myself. The 7-hour trip down 70 from Kansas City to Denver, and I'm going to smack Sean Payton across the face myself. But yeah, no, Travion Henderson, I think him and Quinshawn it was such a dynamic backfield because they're two relatively similar runners, but two also completely different runners. Every time people would ask me, because people on Twitter understand how much I love the Buckeyes,
Yeah.
they would ask me between my preference between the two, and I don't think that there's a wrong answer. If the Broncos decided to draft either running back from Ohio State or both, I
Oh,
mean,
shoot.
they can't go wrong. I really don't think that they can go wrong. But the thing that I see in Travion specifically, he was special. Like I know Broncos fans, this was a flash in the pan name, but Maurice Claret had the freshman rushing record for touchdowns at Ohio State until Travion Henderson was a freshman.
Wow.
Like, he came in right away as an 18-year-old kid and made a difference on that offense that had, at that point, I mean, we're talking about an offense that had CJ Stroud and I believe Garrett Wilson was still playing. I think it was Chris Olave's senior season. Marvin Harrison was there. Jackson Smith and Jigba was there. Like, we're talking about a really crowded offense of a lot of production. And Travion Henderson's, he reset the freshman rushing touchdown record at
That's
Ohio State.
insane. That's
And it,
insane.
and it just stayed the entire time that he was in Scarlet and Gray. Like, there was really, like, I think last year he had a little bit of a down year. It felt like it wasn't what we were accustomed to, but it was just a different year last year. But this past season, he split time completely, like 50-50 with a former running back of the year from the SEC. And you guys see the numbers there. 1,010 yards, 70 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns
in the Big Ten, man, where
in the
they
Big Ten.
prioritize defense.
They did not have an easy running back schedule this year either in the Big Ten. They had to play against Michigan, which has two of the best interior D linemen that are probably going to go really high in this coming draft. He had to play against Penn State. They had to play against Nebraska.
I mean, Oregon has like 4 guys, NFL guys on their defensive line, and maybe a linebacker or 2 that are drafted.
Completely. And I mean, like, even like the Northwestern D line, for some reason they gave Ohio State fits, and I think it was because Ohio State was a little bit looking forward to that Indiana game the next week after that. But you see it there. It's like those are really tough defenses to run against.
I mean, look at that. That's insane what you brought up. The yards after contact.
Yeah, Travion is special. And the thing about Travion is he is a home run hitter. Like, big time. I mean, you can see he's a little bit smaller. He's 5'10", 208. He's a home run hitter. Like, his open field breakaway speed is maybe the best in this draft class.
Yeah.
Of the guys that are probably going to be 3 down backs, I would say that Travion has 100% the best open field breakaway speed. And that's a perfect comment from Trevor. Like, Judkins and Henderson were exactly like the dudes up in Detroit. I mean, you've got freaking Knuckles and Sonic between Monty. Dude, they were insane. Jahmyr Gibbs won me my fantasy league, which was awesome. But yeah, so Travion Henderson to me is like the home run hitter, the absolute, like, anything could happen when he touches the football. I don't know if people watched the college football playoff as closely as I did, obviously. But that Texas game, when we were up 7-0, Texas scored with like 36 seconds before halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Texas kicks the ball off. Travion catches a screen pass 75 yards to the house.
Yep.
Doesn't get touched by Texas's defensive backs. Couldn't even run him down. Like he has special speed, and he's so fun to watch.
And that's what I've just felt like. Again, I feel very similar to you. If we draft, any of these guys, I'm just going to be happy.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is just something that we need so desperately, is just that home run hitting speed. I don't know if he's Jahmyr Gibbs, right? I don't know if he has if he's totally at that level, but maybe outside of Gentie's playmaking ability, I don't know. It's a different style, but
yeah,
I think he's just got that dynamic straight line speed, and he gets into his highest gear just so quickly.
Yeah, it's like by the time he's on his third step, he's like already at top speed. Like he's incredible. And I think the thing that people don't realize about Travion Henderson, I wish I would have brought a cut up with me, but his pass protection ability.
Dude, I already got it pulled up.
Oh my God, dude, that's perfect. We didn't plan this, I swear to God. His pass protection, unbelievable.
62 snaps, 2 pressures given up. That's it.
Yeah, and he steps and he's not just.
Oh, that was 2023. My bad. Let me look at 24.
He's just not cut blocking guys either. Like he's stepping up and smacking dudes in the mouth.
46. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a film cut up. Shout out to Guru, of just his pass blocking, because I integrated that a little bit with my Audric Estime one over the summer, but I think you're right. I don't know if the grades necessarily tell the whole story with him.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do. I'm not the biggest PFF fan, but just from a running back's perspective, like a former running back's perspective, the way that he steps up into the line of scrimmage. He doesn't let linebackers just have a free run 2 yards into the backfield before contacting him. He meets them at the point of contact and brings it with him. It's crazy to see, because he's so much smaller than these linebackers.
Right.
But it does not look that way when he hits them, and they just never expect it or see it coming.
He's a guy that, my bad, Stress. Didn't mean to kick you off there.
Oh, it's fine.
But he's a guy that, yeah, you mentioned only 5'11", 208, but I think he plays much bigger than his size.
Absolutely.
As opposed to a guy like Noah Fant that we brought in here. I love Noah. Again, I would have him back instantly with the tight ends we got right now. No doubt about it. But I never felt like that man ever truly played as big as he was. I mean, could he break a tackle?
Absolutely. Yeah. He had a decent year this year in Seattle, which was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you get surrounded by decent coaching, I guess, right?
Good coaching, quarterback problems not in existence. Yeah, for sure.
No,
but you're absolutely right. I definitely think that Travion hits above his weight class. I really think so.
So, I mean, not to put you too much on the spot, but in terms of value for where you feel like you can draft him, in addition to all the different running backs, where would you kind of put him on top, for your Broncos big board in terms of his fit for what we need?
Yeah. I think that's an interesting part about this year's draft, because we the major positions of need that teams typically need to focus on, we don't have that, right? Our O-line is figured out. Our quarterback is figured out. We're okay. We're okay at receiver. We're great at edge. And I think we're going to be able to find a solid inside linebacker in the later rounds, maybe in free agency. Yes. And so I don't think that there's any reason why we need to settle for a fourth or fifth round running back. And I think that we could get Travion specifically. I think we could get him in the second, or I don't know what our third round picks look like, but
it's the standard third round pick for whatever our slot is. I think it's 78 or something like that. We go to 54 to 78.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Or 76.
And I don't know if he'll be there after 70. I feel like, I mean, there are some teams that are going to want a running back that it's like Ashton Genty, Travion Henderson, the kid from Iowa. Like
Caleb
there's like
Johnson, yeah.
3 or 4 or 5 guys that like are probably going to go in the first couple of rounds. And I don't know if Travion, if we wanted to get Travion, I don't think he would be there in the third. Um,
Mhm.
so I think in positional values, like I'm kind of like Sean Payton with on that. Like I don't really care about like position, like value. And so like if he's there in the second and if he's the running back you want to go get, like go get him.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. And yeah, again, like I've usually just been against drafting running back high, but man, this year just changed my
Yeah.
mind
Look at the
on
Eagles,
that
man.
so much. Yeah, look at
They
the Eagles.
they got a guy that was drafted in the first round, you know?
Mhm. With a handful of, wear and tear, an ACL, another season ender, get him playing on some good quality grass/turf and, everything changes. But I also think too, Strez, like, are you kind of seeing like respect for the running back position come back because there isn't like a true 30 carry workhorse anymore? Like, does it make sense guys like Saquon or I thought Joe Mixon was still good this year as well. Like these guys still
Yeah.
being very good into their second contracts.
I think so. And I think especially kind of with the shift that we've seen to kind of that too high shell, the Vic
Yeah.
Fangio scheme, I guess is what everyone's coining the term for.
Yeah.
Just like you have lighter boxes all the time now because the NFL is so pass happy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do you know how you beat a lighter box? You run the damn ball.
Yeah.
Like just you
Yeah.
turn around and you hand it off to the guy that you know that can go make a play. And the Broncos don't have that. And I think that they can go get that. And I think Travion would absolutely take care of business at that point.
Now we'll talk about Devin Neal. He's interesting. He's very interesting, but let's talk about a stud here. A star, I think, a college football star. Ranked 90. I was kind of surprised to see this, PFF having Judkins kind of below some of the guys because most of the rankings that I've looked at throughout the season, would have Quinshawn right there, right after Caleb
Interesting.
Johnson or Genty. But what was I when I go back and look at his Ole Miss tape, like, okay, they got him here at 6 foot 219. But I feel like he was more explosive at Ole Miss, or is that just the SEC being overrated? Did Ohio State have him put on weight? Like, what was your read on him versus your expectation coming into the year? Not to say it wasn't good. I think it
Yeah.
just looked different than what the casual fan like myself was expecting.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I think the Big Ten has gotten a lot faster over the
Mhm.
last half decade or so. Um, I'm not going to say anything about the SEC because I know at least one person in chat is an SEC fan. Sorry about the Tennessee game, by the way. But I like, I don't know because I think that Quinshawn was still incredibly explosive.
Mhm.
I just think it's his top end speed that's not
Yeah,
quite there,
right.
but he gets to his top end speed just as fast as Travion does. His top end speed's just not quite as fast as Travion
Yeah.
Henderson's top end
Is
speed.
his top end speed still faster than anybody we got right? Like, would you say he's faster than Jaleel?
I don't know that he would be faster than Jaleel, but he's like 40 pounds heavier than Jaleel, 30 pounds heavier than Jaleel, like 5 inches taller. I feel like it's like Quinshawn is like, I think Quinshawn is what Javante was his rookie year
With vision,
with vision. Yes.
because he's got the vision.
Yeah. And I think he's got an ability to like run through tackles. He's so strong. He's violent.
Yes.
Like it's one thing to be a strong runner, but it's another thing to be like Isaiah Pacheco, not a strong runner. Isaiah Pacheco, violent runner for sure.
Mhm.
I think those two things are definitely different, and I think Quinshawn is a little bit of both, strong runner and violent runner. And I think I don't know. I feel like Audric Estime could be that guy for the Broncos. That's kind of that like tone setter.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna not, leave him as an inactive for the first playoff game of the year, obviously there's probably not a plan moving forward with him.
Like
So
right
maybe
now,
we
yeah, maybe he's RB3 coming into the year,
yeah, like I
RB2.
don't
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan is with Audric, which kind of blows my mind because I feel like outside of the first couple of games, like he was actually really productive
Hmm.
in his limited carries. Which, by the way, this is totally unrelated to this draft class, but in that Bills game, the first play of the game, Javonte carries the ball for 6 yards, gets up and goes straight to the sideline.
Right.
I screamed, dude. I got so mad at that. I was like, what the hell are we doing? Are there really 15 scripted plays that Javonte can't run and only Jaleel can run? Or vice versa? What are we doing?
Dude, I'm right
That
there with you. I was thinking
that
the same thing. We're just
I
rotating
hated it.
guys out so much.
I hated it. Like rotating after a drive is one thing, but the amount of rotation that the running backs did, like snap to snap, I wanted to pull my freaking hair out, dude.
Dude, it's something Sean Payton's got to correct this year. I'm right there on it because again, Sean Payton's a good coach, but doesn't mean he doesn't have his blind spots too. And I think that
Yeah.
we saw how he managed the running back situation this year. It didn't help things get any better, for the most part.
Yeah. No, it
And,
was yeah.
and maybe it's because he just lacks a guy that he truly trusts.
And that's probably what it is. But at the same time, like how are you going to find that guy if you don't let him get going? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's been like 14 degrees around the entire country for the last 2 weeks. You can't just take your sports car out and just floor it in cold wet. Like it has to warm up. Like your heater's not even going to be working for the first 10 minutes of driving your car. Like a car needs time to warm up. So does a running back. It just
Mhm.
like that was so frustrating.
Now,
So
Matthew, we have not talked about Cam Scadaboo. We can here in a minute. But I do want to ask you, Strez,
yeah.
breaking down, wrapping up kind of the Ohio State running backs, Travion Henderson, Quinshawn Judkins. Um, where do you see kind of their fit for the Broncos? Like, I'm trying to talk more scheme wise. Seemed like we still tried to run quite a bit of zone stuff with like Javonte Williams, and that wasn't really working. They would have more success with kind of gap or power stuff that they would run. Um, is Travion or Quinshawn, would these guys be good in kind of both schemes? Is there schemes that you feel like they would excel at more than the other? Um, your thoughts there on those guys?
Yeah, I think Quinshawn specifically would be successful in either.
Okay.
Um, but I think that Travion has I don't know, he's so much more of like a playmaker.
Hmm.
And I feel like if you're running zone inside or outside with Travion, he just has such an ability to see the backside gap and 1 foot and he's gone.
Gone. And
And he's gonna. I mean, he's people are gonna be surprised. Like he's gonna outrun angles. Like he's that fast. Like it's unbelievable how fast Travion Henderson is.
oh, man, you're hyping him up more. He's one
And
of the top
obviously, I mean,
targets, man. I
take it.
want him in orange and blue so bad. We haven't
Yeah.
had a guy like that.
No, I don't. I mean, when's the last time Denver ever had like a speed back?
Does Clinton Portis count?
Yeah, but he could run through your face.
Right.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like Travion is like, he's a home run hitter. Like every time he touches the ball, it feels like he has a
Ronnie
chance.
Hillman. But
Yeah,
but but
that
I
that
think he's better than Ronnie Hillman.
I
Rest in
agree.
peace.
I think so too. But yeah, it's just I don't know. And again, take it with a grain of salt. I'm an Ohio State diehard, like through and through. I'm still hungover from Monday night. Like
Dude, let's go.
it is what it is. But I do think that Travion would be. I would like the Broncos to go for Travion because I would like them to get Tyler Warren in the first. But that's a different conversation.
Yes. Yes, it is. Devin Neal, Kansas, absolutely freaking obliterated my Colorado Buffaloes. He was running through everything, as you can see here. Yards after contact, 3.73. Elusive rating, he's kind of rated in between Quinshawn Judkins, I think, and Travion Henderson. Good grades in both schemes, 5.8 yards per attempt in the Big 12, had over 1,200 yards this year on only 218 attempts. General thoughts on Devin Neal and kind of where you think he'll be picked.
Yeah. I like I like Devin Neal.
Yeah.
He's fun in like the open field. Like
Yeah.
you find if you find creative ways to get him the football, he's going to make something happen, and it's going to be really exciting. But I don't know how consistent it can be from you know that running back position, right?
Hmm.
You'd have to motion him out, get him the ball out there, run swing passes or like quick pitches and things like that. That's kind of how I viewed Devin Neal. And I again like I will say like I'm not the highest person on Big 12 defenses. And I mean when you're running against Big 12 defenses, it's one thing. They're not the Big 12 of old, right? They're not having to play Oklahoma and Texas anymore. Um, which is, maybe a slight towards the Big 12, and I apologize. But at the same time, like, I feel like it's not, I don't know. But at the same time, like, it doesn't entirely matter.
We're better than the ACC. That's all I'll
I
say.
agree 100%. And the Pac 2, for sure. For sure. I can definitely attest to that. But yeah, I don't know. But he's fun in the open field. And
Yes.
I think he catches the ball well out of
Yes.
the backfield as well, which is like an aspect of the game that is a huge part of Sean Payton's offense, right? Like
Yeah.
those types of
26
passes
receptions in
yeah.
college football should not be frowned upon. Like, very rarely do these offenses hit the running back.
No, yeah. There's a blown coverage at least twice a drive.
But he can run a wheel route.
Yeah.
I think he's capable of
Yeah,
running like
he's
a Texas
fast.
route,
Yeah.
Right now, like, I don't know. I was asking myself like a while ago, I'm like, do we have a guy in this room that that can run Texas route right now? Like maybe Jaleel.
Dude, I feel like Javonte ran one in the Bills game and like fell over.
Yeah.
Like the ball hit him in the face. It was the weirdest
Yeah.
play. I'm like, if any other running back was in, they'd probably still be running right now. Like, what was that?
Or like with Devin Neal, I feel like you could split him out wide. Like, how often did we see, sometimes like Javonte or whatever, and they're doing that for different reasons. They start out wide and then they motion back into the backfield. But I mean, I just don't really feel like we have a guy right now that is a respected route runner from the backfield. And
I think they all ran curl routes.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw. Yeah, I don't think I saw any of our running backs when they were split out wide this year, like actually like take off down, like run a downfield route.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, I know that this is maybe a little bit of hype, but I mean that's what this channel is. We hype up our guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I see a little bit of Dalvin Cook in him with his patience, his vision, how he can kind of navigate just all the junk in the trenches and all of that. And a well-rounded guy that can break tackles. He can also break ankles. And I think that there's a handful of guys in this draft class that they're not just one-trick ponies. They can do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Devin Neal it falls into that category for me of, he reaches that dynamicism, I guess.
No, I definitely agree with that. That's a good comp too, I think.
Hey,
that Dalvin Cook and Dalvin's brother, James, like I feel like they, they're kind of those types of running backs that can do a lot.
Yes. I know we had some other names on this list, but I also want to kind of get some of your general thoughts on some of the guys people are talking about in the chat. Have you had a chance to watch any Cam Scatteraboo?
Yeah, I watched quite a few ASU games.
You don't sound excited.
No.
Tell me why.
I'm not as high on Cam as I think a lot of people are. Peyton Hillis had one good year.
Oh,
that
who was the guy from Minnesota? The white guy from Minnesota, Toby Gerhard.
No, he was a Stanford guy, wasn't he?
Oh, but he played for the Vikings. That's what.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. No, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, Toby Gerhart was it perfect. Another example of like, I don't think Cam Scatteraboo is going to be a good running back in the NFL. That's just kind of where I'm at. I don't know. I don't like him either. Like as a human, I don't know. There's just something about him that's just like, I'm like, why does he get so much hype? Like, yeah, he plays ball. He runs hard. He plays ball. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, They like they force fed him for sure, which was one thing, which is that's a good sign. Like that's a good thing to be able to have so
Yeah.
many touches in a season. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't think that Cam is going to be a good NFL running back.
We can go first take on this because I like Cam Scattaboo. However, I don't like him as a round 2 guy. Like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like I like him late in the 3rd if he's there, or like early day 3, like totally that. But let me give you my case to sell you a little bit
Okay.
on Cam
Let's hear it.
Scattaboo. Well, let's talk about the mental makeup, man. A guy that has worked hard for everything that he's got. Started out at JUCO, then goes to San Jose State, then comes on to Arizona State. He wasn't supposed to do anything. They brought in running backs to play in over him through the transfer portal earlier, before he got started at ASU. And I kind of like that guy. Like he's gonna come in hungry. Um, and also, I think mainly it's because we've watched so many Broncos teams over the years. I just felt like they were soft, even though the defense would play good, right? But just mentally soft. I kind of like a guy that that'll get in your face, that's pissed off, and will show it. But ultimately, man, he's not a guy that, again, he's not going to wow you like Travion Henderson does, or heck, Quinshawn Judkins, right? But a guy that we talk about, a respected route runner out of the backfield. I think he's that. I do wonder if he can play, or if he can be effective at the NFL level running, zone stuff. But I think he'll be fine in power. I think he's got enough agility there. But some of the guys that I see him behind, I think I'd rather have Quinshawn Judkins or the other guys that we've talked about over him, just because I think he's an underrated athlete, but I don't think he's a better athlete than some of the guys that he's ranked ahead of. And I think that's real important at the NFL level.
Yeah. No, I hear that. And I'll be honest with you. Everything you just said, we just keep Javante.
No, he's got vision. I swear to God, he's got vision.
I'm sorry. I just I tried watching him a lot this season. And he was fun. Like I have a paper trail on Twitter of talking about I enjoyed watching him in some of those games this year where he was the offense. But there's a chip on your shoulder can only take you so far in the NFL.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm jealous. I don't know. That should have been me. You know what I mean?
and there's a part of me that's like, we got a white corner. We need a white running back to offset. We need one on offense too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, throwing up, making plays out of there, it was amazing. He absolutely lit up Texas, which was awesome to see. And a guy that can throw the ball, he can get out in the backfield. But again, I think where we can find some common ground on this, Strez, is that there are some guys I'd rather have over him, from a ranking perspective. Have you had a chance to watch much of Dylan Sampson?
Yeah, I like Dylan Sampson.
Talk about him, because I like Dylan Sampson a lot, but nobody talks about him.
Yeah, and I think it's because he's not the biggest dude.
Yeah.
What is his size?
5'11", 201. Okay,
yeah,
so a little bit smaller than Travion Henderson.
And you're at that 5'11". It's a slender build, but it feels kind of like an Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, not the helmet scout, but how can you not see shades of him?
Yeah, it's
him.
very much felt like that.
Yeah.
He's only 20.
I know. That's one of the reasons that I also like him.
I did not realize he was that young.
Most of the guys.
That was why I was so excited about Audric Estime. He was the youngest dude in the draft last year. He had no miles on his
dude,
on
his and he comes from Notre Dame. You got to be smart. So he's
Definitely.
not. It's not like he's not playing because he can't pick up the offense. I doubt that that's the case.
I don't know what it was, but no, Dylan Sampson he's awesome. I think he's really good at breaking tackles. Even
Yeah,
being kind of that smaller frame, like his ability to make guys miss. And
high elusive rating.
yeah,
Again,
like
not Henderson, but it's high.
yeah, it's really fun to watch. What he's able to do. What was that 5.8 a carry, almost 6 yards a carry?
Yeah, almost 1,500 yards just on the ground.
Yeah, and didn't he got hurt late in the season, didn't he? I don't think he played at all against Ohio State in round one of the.
Um,
He had a 60.4 rating that game.
yeah, maybe he didn't play much, but I think he played in his games.
Yeah, because I think he was dealing with like a hamstring issue, and it was
Yards
like
after contact,
bitter
12th,
cold.
man.
Yeah,
Only, yeah,
he breaks tackles a lot.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Dylan Sampson it could be a great option. But I mean, I mean, when do you want to go get your running back?
See, that's the thing.
You
Like,
know,
I'm
like
hoping one of these guys ideally can fall to the third round because I'd rather take some other guys with our first two picks. But then there's the part of me that's like, Dave, remember your running backs suck this year. You might just have
it
to
was
bite the
pretty
bullet
bad.
and do it,
We
right?
haven't had 100-yard running back since 36 games.
Dude, that's
It
pathetic.
it
Kodiak
was
says Samson 0 to 60 might be better than any player in this whole class. You think it's right up there with Travion?
yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like Dylan Sampson. That's why I like Henderson. A guy that can just and he doesn't need this is the thing, man, like these guys don't need perfect blocking. They can make something out of nothing.
And
And
that's the thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, none of our guys make anything out of anything.
A tiny guy named Sanson is ironic. That's funny from Jeremy.
I love that. I think there were a few more guys that I had that we could touch on. I'm trying to remember. Have you watched any of Beshul Tutin?
Not a ton. I watched a little bit of him today.
He's like a
Um,
day 3 guy that I
yeah.
feel like could have some nice little upside.
Yeah, I think man, I don't know. My notes that I wrote here it's hilarious. I said he's okay. Not what I think not what I think the Broncos should waste a pick on.
Dude, I
I,
love it. Hey, you're the running back.
yeah,
You
I
got to
just
tell us
like
how it is.
if we want to improve the running back room, like I don't think that we need to worry about day 3 running backs.
You know what? That is a fresh perspective. And in one sentence, you sold me on that.
Like I don't mean to like make it sound like we have to go get a guy in the first round, but I just like I don't think improving the running back room is going to happen on day 3.
Mm. It would be like, and I know I had another guy on there, Woody Marks. That okay, let me frame it like this. How I had this in mind when I texted you those names, Derek, is that these guys, I feel like they would be an upgrade over Jaleel McLaughlin, who I don't think should have a guaranteed roster spot this year.
I agree. I don't yeah, undrafted. I don't know why we keep doing this as an organization. And I know there are undrafted
You can
guys that
blame
like
Mike Shanahan.
yeah, I guess you're right, but like I know I get that like undrafted guys can really pop off sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Like Todd Davis was undrafted.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Like but at the same time it's like running back wise,
Willis McGahee still might be a better running back than at his age right now than what we had this year.
in the national championship game in 2003, he probably was a better running back even after he snapped his leg in half. That game's the reason I'm an Ohio State fan, by the way. Fun fact. If Miami won that game, I'd probably be a Hurricanes fan, but they didn't win. Thank God.
Well, you lucked out.
I did luck out big time. But yeah, no, that's just kind of where I'm at, you know, and like, that's why like my focus on the running back class has been on, what's his name? Caleb Johnson.
Okay, let's talk about him because
It's like the guys at the top of the class
yeah.
that I think that the Broncos really need to like consider.
Now, PFF, what? They got Cam Scadaboo as their RB3. What
That's
is going on? The dude.
That's crazy to me, dude.
I'm a Scadaboo fan, and I just think that's crazy. You want to compare Omarion Hampton to Caleb Johnson?
I'm good on passing on a North Carolina running back. I know how much that's helmet scouting. It's helmet scouting.
I don't think he's got that top end speed that we're
I
really
don't either.
wanting.
I don't.
It's really
I
the
don't
only
see him
reason.
changing games by
Y-
himself.
Yeah,
Caleb Johnson. Okay, here's the thing about Caleb Johnson. He's massive. Like he is a big dude.
yeah, like that.
He has one of the best stiff arms I think I've ever seen. Like in football since Beanie Wells from Ohio State.
Wow, Beanie, that's a throwback reference. Where
Right?
did he even end up in the NFL?
Arizona, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, I think he was a Cardinal.
Yeah.
His stiff arm was like, I still talk about it today because I'm just like, that dude was crazy. Caleb Johnson has one of the meanest stiff arms I've seen in a long time. And he's got that
Mhm.
6-foot frame, and his arm is just like, it's crazy. But the thing about him, he was playing in Iowa's offense. What can't Iowa do? They can't throw the football.
Yeah.
And
No.
every defense they played against knew that.
And he
So
still averaged 6.4 yards a carry.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at his elusive rating.
It's
Yards after contact.
crazy, dude. Like he he was Iowa's entire offense. 21 touchdowns. That's nuts.
Yeah. And I know this would piss off a lot of people, but I said this about Cam Scatterbu as well. So take this with a grain of salt. But you put Caleb Johnson on Boise State, he actually breaks Barry Sanders' record in the same amount of games.
I'm glad you bring that up because I think that the two of them are so similar. It's crazy. I think they have
So
such
you
similar
think he's
skill
worth a
sets.
first round pick?
I don't know if it's in the first, but if we want Caleb Johnson, we would have to take him in the second.
Yeah.
If we don't take him in the first at 20.
Or trade up for him?
Yeah. He's not, I don't think he's going to be there in the third.
No.
At middle or late third for sure. Because I think Caleb Johnson might have one of the better NFL careers out of any of the running backs in this running back class. And he excites me. Obviously, I want the Ohio State guys because I want an Ohio State running back jersey. That's Broncos.
That'd be
Right?
amazing.
Like I like to wear a Travion Henderson Broncos jersey would make me so happy. But
Yeah.
if they don't go with the Ohio State guys and Ashton Genty's not there, give me Caleb Johnson.
6 foot 225. He can do everything.
That's a big dude. I'm excited to see how he tests at the combine. I know it's the underwear Olympics or whatever they call it, but like I think that those tests actually matter for running backs.
Me too.
Because it's all about explosion. Like how explosive can the guy be? Like that's what those tests mark. And I'm excited to see what Caleb Johnson does.
Yeah.
In
Let me see
all
that
of
10-yard split, baby. Let me see it. Jeremy seems to think he's gone before pick 50. That's probably the case. I mean, he's pick 54 here on the big board. But again, I think at lowest, I think he should be the RB3 coming into the draft. But I mean, PFF. Yeah,
I would
some of this
honestly,
confuses me.
I might have Caleb Johnson as my RB2 in this draft class.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. Obviously, like I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, right? Like I'm not huge on PFF.
Yeah.
I don't know what they look for when they make their grades because like some of the grades that they gave the Broncos this season, I'm just like, are we watching the same games?
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
And I mean, until just a few weeks ago, they had Cam Scatterbu as like a 5th, 6th round dude, and I'm like, if you're just raising him that much based off of what he did in the college football playoff, I think that's ridiculous.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Like, yeah.
But I do think
yeah.
I think that there is still. Sorry, Kodiak's pointed it out. He had Zach Allen with a 53.5 PFF grade. Like, what are we doing? Like PFF is so weird sometimes. Like I don't understand it entirely. But yeah, I think I don't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, I don't think that Broncos fans need to give up on the prospect of Ashton Genty staying in a Broncos uniform.
Say that again.
I don't think Broncos fans need to give up on the idea or prospect of Ashton Genty remaining in a Broncos uniform.
Okay. Break
I
that down for me.
I think there is a chance that he falls to 20. Or if he falls past, dude, I think of last year's draft. A defensive player wasn't taken until what? Pick 14?
It's insane.
Like, and Jared Verse was like my top defensive player. Like, I was like, if the Broncos don't take Bo Nix, they need to take Jared Verse. Like, that's where I was at last year in the draft.
Mhm.
Weird things have been happening in the drafts this last couple of years, especially last year. Like, Michael Penix randomly goes to the Falcons. Nobody saw that coming, right?
Mhm.
I don't think that we necessarily need to give up on the idea that maybe Ashton Genty is still there at 15 or later. Who picks between the Cowboys and the Broncos? Do you have the
Colts, Dolphins. I'll pull it up.
neither of those teams need running backs?
Of course, Cowboys fans want Genty.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
Cowboys fans want him, but I just think that that's something that Jerry Jones would do.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, man, screw the offensive line.
Yeah, like it's so obvious what they need, but it makes sense that they would just not do that.
Let me bring up the mock draft simulator. So, Dolphins, Colts,
No running
Falcons,
back.
Cardinals. Yeah.
Who do the Cardinals have to stop James Conner?
Yeah, and they drafted a guy in the second round last year from Florida State. Benson.
They're not drafting running back.
No. Bengals could.
No. They're going O-line.
They'd be dumb if they didn't. They did. Seattle, no.
Nope.
Tampa, no, because they
Nope.
got Bucky Irving in the freaking third round.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes like there are some Raiders fans that want to see Genty go at 6, but that's just too rich for me.
That's not happening.
Yeah, no. Maybe, yeah. Maybe Mel Kiper's onto something, man.
Yeah, I think it's there. I think there's a possibility.
Okay, and I got to ask you about this. Do you have a preference on size? Because, for instance, Cale Johnson, 6 foot, 225. Genty's 5'9", 215.
Yeah. I played at 5'6", 208. I'm a short guy, for those of you who are wondering. I was like a bowling ball. The thing about short running back, I wrote a research paper my senior year of high school on short running backs. They are always the low man. They never lose. Low man wins in football. It's physics. Short running backs are never not the low man.
Love that.
And I don't know. Ashton Genty is just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And
great guy, fits Broncos culture, all that.
Looks great in orange already, like just give it to us. I think it's there. But if it's not there, obviously I want them to go tight end. But
I do too. Which we got to talk about this. Would you be upset? Thank you for this question, D-Rock. If George Paton and Sean Payton draft a defensive lineman in the first round instead of anything on offense?
Well, our issue is size there, right? Like, we need beef.
I mean, DJ Jones was our nose tackle.
Yeah. Will he still be here?
Well, he's a UFA, and I don't really feel like there's any. There might be some bargain options that we could get, but we got the chance in this draft to go get a guy that's like 320, 330, 340.
Tyreek Williams.
Tyreek Williams should be there.
Yep.
And when was the last time we drafted a Buckeye? I can't even remember.
Jonathan Cooper and Baron Browning.
Oh, yeah, my dumbass. Aside from them.
The same year.
Yeah, that's right. We just don't draft Ohio State guys on offense for some dumb reason.
Yeah, we never get Ohio State offensive guys.
Yeah.
We're never bad. We're never bad enough to get the Ohio State offensive guys.
Yeah.
We're never Draymond Jones was before Cooper and Browning.
Mm-hmm.
He played at Ohio State.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's right.
Tyreek Williams he's a dog, dude. He's so big. I don't know why we would. I don't think he goes in the first though.
A lot of people have him late first, early
Really?
second, like
I haven't
on
really
how all
looked at.
these mock drafts go. So,
I'm like
but you know,
breaking all of my rules
yeah.
even by having this conversation with you tonight, but I was excited to talk running back, so it's like,
and now we're talking finding our Chris Jones.
yeah, right. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Ugh,
He is one of one in my
yeah,
brain.
just like Aaron Donald. People are
Like-
like, well, you know, short guys can play. Aaron
No.
Donald's just a.
They have to be
different
part gamma radiation.
Yeah, but I'll say this to answer D-Rock's question. I would not be upset if they identify that there's truly like a guy that can become an elite nose tackle or an elite safety, like out the get-go.
Yeah.
Or out the gate, but my heart lies with this offense, baby.
I think that's actually absolutely where we need. Like, our defense was just one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, if we let some of the guys walk that we're not going to be keeping this year, do you think we'll really fall that far? Defensive production wise?
No.
Like, go get a guy for Bo. Like, go get a dog for Bo. Go get him some toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Cortland Sutton is really the only, like, fun thing that Bo has to play with this season. And Marvin Mims really came alive in the second half of the year.
Yeah, Marvin Mims, you know.
Give us a third option in the passing game and give someone that he can just turn around and hand it to and know that he's not going to be the leading rusher in 7 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we cannot. The fact that we haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since Phillip Lindsay, the fact that we haven't had a 100-yard rusher in a single game since Murray, I cannot think of his first name right now for some reason.
The old guy.
Yes, Latavius.
Like,
that was our last 100-yard rusher, dude. Like,
dude,
come
he
on.
was a free agent this year.
Yeah, but he's also like,
I know he's
AARP eligible, I think.
But I mean,
okay.
I got this question for you. What would change this offense more in a first round running back or a first round tight end?
Man, dude, I just don't know how to answer that question because it's like so speculative right now.
Yeah.
Because like Tyler Warren would be awesome. And I still think you could get a game changer at running back in the second.
Right.
But what if Ashton Genty's gone, Colston Loveland's gone, Tyler Warren's gone? What do you do with the first pick with your first round draft pick?
Egbuka.
Oh my God, you're speaking my language, bro.
Like, that would be fun.
Give me the guy that has the receptions record at Ohio State.
Yeah. A guy just slept on because I don't know why.
He's playing with Hall of Famers every season.
Yeah. But again, he set the reception record,
which
I know
is
he came back for
crazy.
his senior year, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking David Boston, Chris Olave, Chris Carter.
Garrett Wilson,
Jackson Smith and Jigba, Marvin Harrison. Like, we're talking about guys that like everyone's drafting to their fantasy team.
Yeah.
And Emeka Egbuka has the most catches of all of them in a career at Ohio State.
And like JSN, he was kind of a later first round pick, and I think he's turned out great.
I think he's going to be wide receiver 1 in Seattle this next season.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think I going Ohio State receiver, never a bad idea.
But then I was just like, well, screw it. Maybe you trade back. Maybe I still just want to go with the best player.
I think that's what the Broncos need to do in the first round, 100%. Unless Ashton Genty falls to 20.
Then he is the best player, probably. I mean, right?
Fair. Yeah. But then you use your first rounder on a running back there.
I know it's not sexy, but I mean, I just got this fear that it's like knowing Arlock, he'll just turn into like Najee Harris,
Man. Okay.
which
Najee Harris.
is he going to be a free agent target this season?
I think Najee Harris's thing is like a mental thing because he saw Dwayne Haskins. He saw the accident with his own 2 eyes. Like I really think that that's a huge part of his struggles. Because you see flashes still.
Yeah.
I just think I think that part has affected him more than I think people realize.
Yeah, I didn't.
And also,
dots on that.
Man, I have my Haskins jersey hanging up over here in my closet. If that had not happened, the Steelers would probably maybe still be playing football this weekend.
Because they would have Haskins as quarterback.
They would have no quarterback issues, in my humble opinion. He struggled his rookie year, but he was 20. I mean, he was way too young to come out. But I think Haskins was.
And plus, he was playing for the Redskins, Commanders. Crap show.
Before they came to be what they are now.
Before they got new owners, changing everything.
First round, best player available in my I would rank them: Genty, Warren, Loveland, if he's still there. I think Colston Loveland is a first round tight end.
I think he is too.
And
it's said by an Ohio State fan.
Yes, said by. I hate the team up north, but Colston Loveland is a really good tight end. And if those 3 guys are gone, give me Emeka Egbuka. If he's gone, give me Luther Burden. If he's gone, give me the next best wide pass catcher. And then in the second round, go get Caleb Johnson or Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins or whoever you want. I think first 2 picks should both be offense.
I would love it. I would love it.
If I'm being honest, I think every pick this draft should be offense.
It would be. Didn't Elway have a draft very similar to this? It was the Hamler draft. Yeah, where we got Judy, Hamler. We drafted, I think, some other offensive weapons, and
I think you're right.
None of them. I think we might have had a defensive player or 2 sprinkled in there, but
yeah, was that No, was Noah Fant a first rounder?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that makes me so. I remember walking into work that next day, and I had an Iowa Hawkeyes fan that sat right behind me, and I threw my work bag down. I was like, "The freaking Broncos took the worst option at tight end from Iowa."
It's like we drafted a backup tight end.
I was like, "Why would you do that? Why?
What could have been, man?"
I was so bothered. Spicy's take.
Yeah. Thank you, Kodiak, for the $10 super. Y'all go subscribe to Kodiak. He also had an amazing video yesterday, Strez, on this history on Sean Payton and why he refuses to draft tight ends with any serious capital. And it was kind of disheartening. Hopefully he breaks that trend. Anyway,
I think Warren is a different type of beast.
Dude, I think so too. I think Loveland is even worth it but anyways, my spiciest take for draft season so far is Emeka Egbuka would be better for the Broncos than Loveland. Thoughts?
I agree.
Kodiak, you need to do a video on this. Why would you agree? As somebody who's watched so much of these guys, break it down.
We do need help in the tight end room, badly. But I think the type of ball that Loveland will have to play, it'll take a minute. He's not Brock Bowers level. And I think Tyler Warren is such a different type of player that I think that he's going to be used so differently in a Sean Payton offense. I don't think Loveland would make an immediate impact like I think Egbuka would. 100%.
Is Egbuka a guy that could command double teams at some point?
Potentially. The thing about him is put him out wide, put him in the slot, put him in the backfield.
Yeah.
But it's different than Marv. You know what I mean? I don't know how to really explain that, but it just like it's different than what Mims offers.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be happy, man. I'd be thrilled again. I kind of feel about this draft how I felt about last year's when it came to quarterback, man, and that's just you can kind of sell me on all these guys.
It was always Bo. It was always
Yeah,
Bo for me.
but I wanted Bo, so hopefully we get what we want. We get what you want, Strez. Oh, um, thought we had another. Never mind. Sorry. And that's Ashton Genty, man,
Yep.
sticking in orange and blue. And if not, maybe we settle for a guy up north and see how that goes. But all that to say, man, Travion Henderson, if we wait on running back a little bit, Quinshon Judkins, hey, let's finally right this wrong of Maurice Claret, right? The last Ohio State running back that we drafted. Let's
Yeah.
right this wrong.
What a sad way that shook out.
I bought his book that he wrote in prison.
Is it good?
Yeah, I read it. It's like a quick read. I read it in like 2 days, and
I
it
don't.
was just
I've
like really interesting. It was basically a journaling and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
He's had an interesting like post prison redemption arc.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he wasn't really allowed back in the building at Ohio State for the longest time, and like now you see him and Jim Tressel on the sideline together all the time.
I love that.
And Jim's always got his sweater vest on with the little Youngstown State penguin on it and the Ohio State logo on. It's so funny.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. Well, Strez, thank you for taking an hour to talk with me about our beloved Broncos, man. It really does mean a lot. Um, let the people know, man, what you got coming up on your channel. What can people be looking forward to throughout the off season to see from you? All that good stuff.
Yeah, I don't have a ton that I'm planning for the upcoming couple of months here. Obviously, if the Broncos make any sort of big free agent splashes, I'll talk about that. I made it a point of mine. I hate mock drafts. I love the NFL draft, but I hate this part of the draft process because no one knows anything. We don't
No,
know anything. We don't know what the Broncos are going to do in free agency. We don't know what we're going to need come draft night. Like we don't know anything. And so I'm like actually not going to be doing a mock draft until like a week before the actual draft. Like I've made it like it's almost like a New Year's resolution that I'm for sure going to stick to. I'm not doing it.
I'm the devil on your shoulder.
I know that's why I said I'm breaking all of my rules to be here to talk about this. But the only position group that I will do it for is running back because
Well,
I think running backs are special. But yeah, so I just be on the lookout if the Broncos do anything major over the next couple of months. I might go live during the combine and watch the combine guys or react to some of the combine stuff.
the underwear Olympics, Rich Eisens.
Yeah,
40 time he does every year. That should
I
be
love
fun.
it. I love it. And I think it is just all the camps that I went to my junior and senior year of high school, and all the guys I met and interacted with. It was really fun, and I enjoy that kind of stuff. And it's raw athleticism. I mean, you can't tell me that you didn't get freaking excited when Xavier Worthy ran a 4.2, and then you sat down and slapped yourself because you're like, oh my God, the Kansas City Chiefs are probably going to take this guy, and it's going to be terrible.
No. Yeah.
But yeah,
Freaking
I'll talk
Bills,
about.
dude.
I'll probably watch some of that, react to some of that, specifically like the positions of need for the running backs. And so that's probably what I'll be doing on the old YouTube for the time until we get to the draft.
Well, perfect. Again, Strez, thank you so much,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. We got to keep this thing up. I've had a busy week, but I do have some Luther Burden cut ups that we'll take a look at here on the channel, as well as I did another one on a prospect that I've just totally blanked on who it was. So I'll go back and look at, that's ADHD for you. You're either locked in or it's just out of memory. I
That
have
that
no
Travion
idea.
Henderson pass protection cut up will be.
Dude, yes.
That'll hit
Thank you
hard.
for that reminder. I hope we draft him, man. Like I would be thrilled. So Guys, we had over 70 people in here. Thank you so much. Again, please follow Strez on Broncos Hub. Links in the description. Smash that like and subscribe on the way out. Be back again tomorrow. Go Broncos. Thanks, Strez.